You have to bear with me for just a second. I can get my. There we go.
Bluetooth mode.
There we go. Whatever works, right?
Low battery, please charge.
Okay, so we're not going to use this.
Swing it wide. Good morning. Belfries, percussion ensemble, drumline is behind me, and we are leading.
Well, so the recording that you're listening to, or trying to listen to,
Alzheimer's Walk in down.
is from the Alzheimer's Walk in downtown Pikeville. My percussionist, the four of my percussionists from school are, or did, participate in the Alzheimer's Walk here. We actually led playing some of our cadences, and I'll let you listen to a little bit. Hopefully.
Swing it wide, swing it wide. Good morning. Belfries, percussion ensemble, drumline is behind.
Okay, that's not going to work on Facebook. But they played several different pieces of their cadence. One of my kids, who's actually in this drum line, says to me during band camp, he says, "Mrs. Williamson, I want to do some stuff for the community this year." And he's actually my percussion section leader, which if you knew the kid, you would think, why the heck does this kid want to actually help people? But he has like totally come into his own this year and done some wonderful things. So that was our first charity project. If you look at the handout, the title is Charity and Pathos. And pathos is one of the Greek terms for evoking emotion. And that's a lot of what we do in music. I'm actually the band and choir director at Belfry High School, and my band and choir kids do a lot of stuff together, and I share a lot of kids between both programs. On Monday, which is why there's not a picture there, we held a candlelight vigil for Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. There was a vigil that was held in Pikeville a few years ago, and I thought, hey, this is something that I've been through. I'm one of the 1 in 4 women who has had a miscarriage. So I, again, during band camp, because apparently that was my wonderful idea week, I went to my kids and I said, hey, would you guys like to host something at our school? And they said that they were all for it. So as part of our grant, it was a very short ceremony. Some of my kids read some inspirational quotes. My choir kids sang a piece called Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep by Laura Furnell, and it's a beautiful piece. We invited women to share their stories, and then we ended with this piece called After the Storm. And if any of you know what a rainbow baby is, it's a baby who has been born after a miscarriage. And I have one of those too. His name is Hagen, and he is the squishiest thing in the world. But we performed this piece called After the Storm, and I do have that queued up. I'll let you listen to just a minute of it because it's a beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful piece. If you're really interested in hearing everything, this is a public on my Facebook page under Mallory Drawn Williamson. It was a beautiful ceremony. I had several community members come up and say, thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this in our area. It's something that we need to keep doing. So hopefully this is something that we can continue doing. So the next part of our grant, because it's kind of in pieces, I just received a kind of build your own quartet, trio, duo, solo book set for Christmas. So my kids and I are going to go to a couple of the nursing homes in our area and perform some Christmas carols, because with instrumentalists, you typically don't think, okay, well, a flute, clarinet, a baritone, and a saxophone are going to go play this little quartet of Christmas music. But the cool thing about these books are by David Newell are that you can build your own. So everything's written out in SATB 4-part texture, and so the tuba player could be playing the soprano line, which has the melody typically. So those books are really cool. We've also received a set of sight reading music, because that's something that a lot of my kids struggle with. They'll say, well, Miss Williamson, just tell me how it sounds. And I say, no, baby, I'm not going to tell you how it sounds, because you know how to read it, and I'm not going to spoon feed it to you. So hopefully going through this, it's 100 different short sight reading pieces. I'm going to try to go at least 2 days a week to get their sight reading chops really going. And hopefully by the end of the year, one of the pieces that we were given by through the grant, actually 2 of them, we will do at our district level large ensemble band festival, and that's in April. The last part of our grant is part of that. Our spring concert this year is going to be centered around the 20th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. And Frank DeKelly, who's an amazing composer, everything I've ever heard of him that I have loved, he actually wrote a piece in remembrance of and in honor of the victims and survivors of that shooting. So we're going to bring in a couple of community members, because let's face it, our program's small. We don't have any oboes. We don't have any bassoons. We only have 1 French horn, and this piece calls for a lot of 2 and 3 different parts within the instruments. So we're going to bring in community members and alumni and let that be a piece that we can all do together. We have other pieces, A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman, several other pieces that are all centered around hope,